I'm Jenny Fern and welcome to my library. I'm a chaotic neutral mechanical engineer who's really into permaculture and wants to talk about books. So let's talk about books. Today, I have an activity set before us. I want to figure out a TBR for myself. January went really well for me because I had the Buzzwordathon TBR, which was basically a big stack of books that I could pick and choose from. So I think I'm gonna do something similar. I've been kind of like meandering and struggling since then because I've gotten to the dregs of the Buzzwordathon TBR books. I've postponed entirely my Buzzwordathon TBR because I'm having a really hard time with the remaining prompts. I've been really inspired recently by those rewatches of my old thrift store book hauls and my most recent thrift store book haul. I'll share with you what I've been reading. I read this book of haiku, and this was from my recent thrift store book haul. Then I have A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. I just finished reading this morning. I really enjoyed this. I had a great time with this. Tiny little thrift store books. I'd also started reading Silent World by Jacques Cousteau. That was a part of my Buzzwordathon TBR, and I am still interested in reading it, but I was having a little bit of a hard time focusing on it. I had an insane anxiety problem. I was sleeping like 4 hours a night because I would just spiral for like literally 4 hours every night, which was very bad for me. So I'm trying to get my anxiety into a better state. I used to have 3 cups of coffee a day, but now I'm having only 1 caffeinated cup and 2 decaf. I'm trying to be a better person for my own sake, and I hate it. Anyway, so maybe at some point soon I'll have the mental capacity with which I can focus on Silent World. This morning I've been reading this, A Wild Swan by Michael Cunningham. This is a collection of short stories. It's retellings of fairy tales. It's giving the Merry Spinster vibes quite a lot. I will say the language that is used, it's a little over the top in using some of the most thesaurus-y words at the expense of clarity. So I'm not having a wonderful time with this book, but it's very short and the stories are very short. I do think I'm gonna finish reading this book. And I've been really interested in reading The Radleys. So let me go get a handful of books. As seems to be a recurring theme on this channel, I'm having a really hard time with focus. I thought I'd try to use the autofocus, and then when I just came back to sit down, it was clearly not in focus, so apologies if it's really bad. Part of the reason why I want to pick that up is because I was revisiting my old thrift store book hauls, and from that video I also have Mr. Mo's Traveling Couch and Red Mars. I will say for Red Mars, I do have the audiobook on hold at my library, so I am awaiting reading this. I do want to read more sci-fi this year, as I mentioned in my goals video, and I don't think I've been doing a really excellent job at that recently. Now I'm gonna go raid my shelves and try to find some books that I also hauled in those thrift store book hauls. Some from just recently and some from the video that I did earlier last year that I hadn't read any books from yet. So those are kind of what I'm trying to pull from. So this is kind of a huge stack of books that I've pulled, just that I'm kind of interested in. Some of these are from that thrift store haul and some of them are not. From my bookshelves, I got The Second Stage Lensman, Stellar short novels, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, A Zoo in My Luggage, Replay, The Hidden Side of the Moon, and The Sea Wolf. Let's look at my recently acquired books and see what we can pull from that as well. Well, sit beside my dog, who I'm trying to distract. Also, yes, I am wearing sweatpants under this dress. What are we thinking? Hi, it's me and my little dog. So, curiosity does motivate me quite a bit to read things sooner rather than later. Well, I just broke my outfit. I had this dress when I was in high school, so I have already repaired it once. So from my recent thrift store book haul, I've picked out The Cloud People, Lilies and Other Stories, Relativity, The Country of the Pointed Firs, The Good Earth, The Last Lecture, and Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I feel like you can kind of get a sense of my vibe right now from this set of books. Does it feel like that to you, that they're all kind of associated? I need to find a book now that I can listen to on audiobook because I have a lot of dishes to do. Figure out where my phone is. Under a pile of books, obviously. First one I looked up, it's available, and that is The Last Lecture. I feel like a lot of what I've picked out is like short and maybe like short stories, short novels. I feel like I'm really in a short mood. So now my big task is to put my old TBR books that I'd pulled out from the shelves back, and also put my thrift store book hauls away. Thank you all so much for watching and for participating in picking out books for my new TBR. I, again, will just kind of pick and choose from this stack until I'm not really excited about it anymore. And then I think I'll keep going and doing this more refined TBR so that I can pick and choose again until my mood kind of shifts and I'm not really interested in them anymore. I think that's what I'm gonna do for TBR videos on this channel. I have 19 books here from which I can pick from. Second Stage Lensman, Red Mars, Replay, Silent World. This is the only book that successfully made it onto both of the TBR lists so far this year. Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, Stellar, Mr. Moe's Traveling Couch, The Radleys, A Zoo in My Luggage, The Hidden Side of the Moon, The Sea Wolf, A Wild Swan, The Country of Pointed Firs, The Good Earth, The Last Lecture, The Cloud People, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and Relativity. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what's on your TBR right now. What are you like hyped on? What kind of mood are you in? What's your reading vibe? If you liked this video, consider sharing it with a friend who you also think would like it. Consider subscribing, and I will talk to you again soon.